wise for as a supporter to prop up your candidate at the expense of just making this to be something like, oh my God, he shouldn't run anymore, he's old, blah blah blah. And it's just not real. So I'm gonna go over a little bit what it is. I think I put it right here. How do I?
Well, that's the file.
No, I know, but I clicked on it and it's. Let me see.
There you go.
I wanted to go over it on what a cardiologist is explaining, because a lot of people don't know what this is. First of all, 2 million people undergo this procedure a year, and these stents are just there to ensure, because he had a clogged artery, that the blood keeps flowing. It's definitely a simple, and it alleviates the blockage. So it's nothing that is that extreme. It's just saying that the heart isn't getting enough of a supply. And then he goes over how the procedure happens. And because the problem was found before it caused any damage, this is a lot easier to attain because we got it before anything happened. So to use this as a way to say that Bernie needs to drop out is, it's predictable. We knew people were going to do that. And it's really a cheap ploy to try to get ahead in any way, shape, or form. We have to remember Joe Biden's mental state. We have to remember Trump and his age, both of their ages. Elizabeth Warren is no spring chicken. I mean, all of these people, which is why I think it would be great for Bernie Sanders to pick a VP that is young and like, Anina Turner or Tulsi, and have his cabinet full of a lot of young people. But that doesn't mean he needs to in any way, shape, or form drop out, or that this is something serious. If we recall back in 2016, Hillary Clinton literally collapsed and they completely ignored it. Ignored it. So
yeah. Well, I remember we were all jumping up there going, hey, man, this is a serious thing. Like Hillary Clinton's eyes rolled in the back of her head and she passed out. Bernie Sanders felt pain, went to the doctor, got stents. Right. Very, very common. My dad had like 5 or 6 of them. And every single time he had maybe a day or two of recovery. But I don't think we need to take it completely under the, make it downplay it completely. And we're not trying to do that. So when I say like what happens next, I mean he needs to nail this next debate. He's not dropping out. So get that out of your head. He shouldn't drop out. It is a stint. It's not a heart attack. They're just doing procedures that are going to help him in the future. However, I still think he should scale down a little bit. I don't think he should be super Bernie anymore. I don't think he has to do 4 or 5 events a day. They were looking on the event calendar. He's got 4 events. I can't keep up with Bernie myself, and I'm freaking 46 years old. So I hope his campaign gets him ready for this next debate. Gives him some time to rest and recover. We're not going to see him in L.A. That stinks. Maybe ease him into stuff, get him out there. But he needs to nail this next debate. He needs to put this behind him. Because it's not just the Democratic Party, the establishment, that's going to be using this against him. And if you just go on YouTube and you put in Bernie Sanders, you'll see the hit job. Everything is mainstream media. It's bad. It's breaking. Bernie Sanders. Johnny's going to pull it up because that's why he's the 1s and 2s. We talk about it. And even right there on the top, look at the developing news. They put the disclaimer up there. Okay, and it says Bernie Sanders off campaign trail.
Yeah.
Until further notice, until being treated for a artery blockage. Yeah. But they're going to use this, and Donald Trump, if it comes down to Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, he will use this. That next debate to me.
And Donald Trump is he's barely younger than Bernie. And also he eats extremely unhealthy. Yeah. He's extremely overweight. I mean, Bernie is like Pasta said, I followed Bernie throughout for an entire day and I was exhausted at the end of that day. I running from caucus to caucus and then eventually eating in the same spot. He is a marathon runner. He's always been in good health. So I'm not really worried about his health. I'm more worried about, I agree. He does a lot for a normal person, let alone somebody that's, close to 80. And so I think, as strong and as healthy as he is, I wouldn't be opposed with him slowing down. And that's why I think the campaign's they're saying, hey, slow down, rest as much as you can and then go back in and it's going to be okay. So.
Well, the last debate he had the scratchy voice and I was like, would somebody give this man some tea, honey and lemon? Right. I think the campaign took a lot of flack for that because they let him get out there a couple days before and push it the way he did. So he wasn't completely prepared to nail that debate. I'm going to say it again. Moving forward, he needs to nail this next debate and put all this stuff behind him. Any question that Bernie's health is an issue needs to be put behind him by this next debate. So it's good that this next debate is within our rearview mirror. It's less than 2 weeks away. and I'm looking for him to just slow it down. He's not dropping out. Stop with this idiotic notion that he's dropping out. And I have to agree with my partner over here, to my Tulsi friends who are starting to push this stuff. Just relax a little bit, okay? We already expect from the Warren people. We saw some of these disgusting tweets out there, and some people been pulling the identity politics into this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which we'll talk about and stuff. But he's not dropping out. So just take a step back, take it easy, and let's just wait and play everything cautiously, okay?
Okay.
So, do you want to talk about that anymore? Or?
No.
Didn't you have some stuff about you have it down below? About the tweet about somebody saying the old white men?
Oh, no. I just sent that to Johnny.
But, I thought we were going to put that up.
No, well, Johnny has the tweets of some of the presidential candidates. I know Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris all gave tweets of...
There's Tulsi.
There's Tulsi.
Yeah.
And then we have also, which I think a lot of her supporters, a lot of everybody's supporters need to read how their candidates are reacting instead of how they're acting.
Wasn't there somebody you put, though, like, you sent it to Johnny. Okay. I saw that. Those are the tweets that just make me go nuts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I don't
even in a moment like this when the man is just coming out of a surgery, you're going to say, this is why we don't need old white men or something like
or
that.
2020 or something like
it's
that.
It's just
like,
so
it was bad.
stupid.
Wait, Johnny?
You found it, Johnny? He's getting a microphone on. Johnny Sue, the DJ, is speaking to the crowd.
Yeah, this one was really bad over here. This one says, by Helen Manfred. Coincidence just happens just as Warren is surging. It's a stunt to garner sympathy and Benjamins. Like, what the fuck?
Really, right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's disgusting.
Crap like that. And that's the... Let me tell you something. Also on that call I got last night when I was doing my research to understand more about the Houthis and their history, he was telling me that he was really proud of us at what we're doing over here, and that some of us have really been putting out there to make it be known that Elizabeth Warren is establishment AF, and she cannot be the next president. She's Hillary Clinton 2.0. The fact that she was going around out there with him, and this particular person, my friend, he said to me, I think you guys are getting the message across and people are starting to realize what's going on, especially as they see the money trails.
And to be honest, I don't even think she's Hillary 2.0. I think she's bad, but I think a lot of her supporters are worse than she is, because a lot of her supporters are ex-Hillary supporters. I honestly think
most of her supporters.
She's slightly to the left of her supporters, which is kind of weird, but I genuinely believe that.
Well, she garnished up all that report. Like I said, the most disgusting thing for me to see was her walking around candidly with Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Disgusting. These people should be out of it. The Clintons.
We're not going to put up with that, you guys. Like, Bernie supporters get attacked for being sexist and all this stuff. Like, people start putting shit like that, forget it. You're going to get your ass handed to you entirely. So.
All right, I want to say hi to some people on the Facebooks. Rocky Bellinger. I hope you're pimping that shirt we sent you out there, big
Aloha
dog.
fam.
Johnny Urig, Matthew Sevilla, The Funny Farm, K. Clo, I love that name, K. Clo, Chris David, Steve Woolbrandt. We got your address. We'll send you the shirts. We got to get it. You really helped us out with the KDEM. We love you for that. Thank you so much. There was so many great things going up there. Susan Gillums is there as well. James Aaliyah, fam. What's up with the shirt, James? Big Game James. We sent you out a shirt. We expect to see you powerlifting with a combo couch shirt on and some type of headband. We want to see it. You got a dolphin for Big James?
You can rip it up if you want. Make it like a muscle shirt, James.
I want to see the headband on James just freaking, powerlifting. Steve, we said hi. And Matthew Sevilla, we said hi. Chris David as well. Let's get on over to our YouTubes. We love our YouTubes. 103 people watching, jumping in.
6.
James Aaliyah going back and forth. He says, fam, I'm lifting in my shirt today. We need a picture. Aurelius Prime. Aurelius, I saw you put something out. I can't even remember. I wish I would have copied it. It was on a Jimmy Dore thread or a Ron Placone thread. You put some really good stuff up there. I'm glad you watch us. I'm glad you're a fan. Michael Cruz, yes, we're going to get your shirt. We're going to order your small shirt and get it for you. I'm so sorry. Well, I shouldn't have said that out loud, but that's his size, and we have it. I don't want to give out any information.
Well, no, it's for males, because the females, run
I'm
nice
not
and snug.
sending Michael Cruz a female V-neck
Okay.
with the pink tag. Michael Cruz, I'm going to get you a small shirt and send it to you. Mike Fagan, Karen Kissinger, Reese Mack. How you doing, guys? It's so great to see you, Scott Will. Don't touch the booze, Michael Cruz. Alana Ozick, we love you. And on the MCSC Network, 63, where you at? SkullDev23, how you doing, brother? It's great to see you. Eric O, Zach Nora, fam. That's on the combo. That's on the MCSE now. They're sleeping on the MCSE network over there today. Oh, I got 63 people watching. You better get on it. And we got over 100 on the Convo Couch YouTube. And we want to thank our Patreons. We got 66 of you. It is awesome. Thank you for all the Super Chat contributions. We are putting it to work. We've been going over the schedule. We got a lot of great things coming up, right, fam?
We do.
And we want you to get over to the Rockfin. Very important. That's the big push. ROKFIN, Rockfin. It's the future. Blockchains, cryptocurrency. We're taking the power out of the elites, out of the establishment who do control YouTube and whatnot. And Rockfin is our answer to give them back a lip. We also have somebody else, fam, who told some latte liberal, back it up, fam.
Yeah.
Watch this here. Watch. This made me happy last night when I saw this, because this is how I feel.
You have served primarily as one of the major rehabilitations of Modi's perception here. Modi, of course, back in 2002 was the chief minister of Gujarat, and many consider him to be complicit in the deadly 2002 Gujarat riots that lowball about 1,000 people died.
Do you know what instigated those riots?
We all looked at the phone.
My point here is, here's my point. Here's my point. You're levying a very serious accusation against me without presenting facts to back them up. My focus here as a member of Congress has been always and will continue to be on how best I can serve the interests of the American people and our country. I have been a co-chair of the U.S.-India Caucus for Indians and Indian Americans, recognizing that India is one of our most important partners in the Asia-Pacific region, where I come from. So our Pacific Command, for example, our military within that region, they do more security training exercises with India than they do with any other country in the region. The importance of this partnership is something that has bipartisan support. President Obama worked very closely with Prime Minister Modi when he was in office, recognizing how important this partnership is for economic reasons, security reasons, as well as education and cultural reasons.
What about the money that you get from the RSS?
Again, back it up. Back it up. If you're going to make these arguments and make these claims, you better have the evidence to back it up, because you're wrong. The contributions I get from my campaign come from American citizens. American citizens. From American citizens. And what you're doing right now, is levying a criticism against American citizens who happen to be Hindus, who are involved in our democratic process here, Who paid for you? That's exactly what you're doing right now. That's exactly what you're doing right now. I'm proud to have support for my campaign from Americans all across this country who are Hindus, Muslims, Christians, atheists, Catholics, Buddhists, all across the board. They understand and know that my allegiance to and my mission is to serve our country and to serve the American people.
Somebody put boom. And how come, fam, every time we ask for the receipts,
nobody has them?
we never get...
We've looked for them. There's. I mean, you can say that she has bias towards Modi in the sense of she's a Hindu and he's Hindu and all of these things, but to tie her to that without any receipts and any sort of thing, and she's right. I mean, every single time she asks, nobody can provide them, and there's just no, like, she's getting support from Americans. Why are we tying her to somebody else that has nothing to do with her? She's running for president in America. She's not running for president in India. She's not, and aside from everything else, like how I feel about Tulsi or not, like, this is completely just an unfair attack.
And I think the fact that she's pointing out why she's having some form of allegiance globally, geopolitically, what's going on in that region. In that region, there is Russia, China, and now India. We're going to lose and cut our necks off with all three people in that area, whatnot. We're not going to open up for good trade. We're going to push crap in Modi's face, who when he was running around with Obama, it was okay. Because it was way after 2002, because we know who perpetuated all this stuff. The man Peter Frederick, right? That's him perpetuating this shit
fraud.
Right here. And guess what he had to say when we asked him for the receipts? Let's just take a look at it again. I know you all know, but I like to play this again.
If a congressional candidate was heavily financed to the tune of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars repeatedly every election cycle.
Exact number by any
Yes,
chance?
but not here. But yes,
Okay.
if a congressional
But not here. Yeah, yes, but not here. What not? The main part of your evidence, you don't have it. Right here, the receipts. And like she said, Tulsi said, back it up. And this whole mentality, when I tell people to send me the receipts, they send me individuals who supposedly have connections to the RSS, even though they are American citizens here.
Right.
In Indian American citizens in the United States. And the fact that you're going to say, and when she said you're levying this criticism because a lot of these people do have ties or connected to the RSS because of the history of India. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the fact that you're going to say that you have to disavow all these individual donors is ridiculous, because if we start going through all the individual donors right now, what do you think it's going to look like? Okay?
It just seems like if she's tied at all to India at all, or anybody is tied to India at all, then it's like a Hindu fascist. So you're saying all Hindus are fascists?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Yeah. And Ren Sten gave us a $5 super chat on the Convo Couch. Ren Sten, we love you. Thank you so much. Hashtag Body by Tulsi. An American diplomat should not be insulted like this. She deserves more respect. I think far more respect is what he was trying to say, but I'll take fat more respect because I'm fat and I'm happy and I'm proud about it. I love it. You got to love who you are, and I'm chubby, big, and beautiful. That's what Biggie Smalls gave me that Tupac did not. Anyways.
Oh my God! Don't start this debate again.
Well, we're going to start. We're going to always
Tupac
have this
forever.
debate. Oh my
Tupac
Lord,
is
please.
the real.
Tupac the
He
actor.
would have voted
Biggie the
for
hip-hop
Bernie.
star.
He would have been. He was a poet. Tupac all the
Please.
way.
Well, they were both
Bam.
born where Bernie was born. Bernie Sanders, Tupac, and Biggie were all born in Brooklyn. Memphis-Stuyvesant and that area right around there. Now, that's the area we do agree with Tulsi. And once again, I'm going to keep diving into this. I have guests lined up. I've been talking to Sham Sharma. I want to get him on the show. He wants me to go on his show, and I'd love to do that. But we don't want to be pro-Hindu. You know, we have Preeti Upala, who was just on Hard Lens. So we are out there seeking people who have an interest, who want to come on the show, who have knowledge, and want to tell their side about what's going on in India. We preferably want somebody from that region, unlike TYT, who just will do a story. We'll probably never even spoke to somebody. But whatnot, we're going to speak to people in that region, and we're going to keep investigating this. We're not going to let it down, because when you love a candidate, or you like a candidate, or you support a candidate, the best thing to do is vet them on their weaknesses, or where the perception says their weaknesses are. And we're going to have more situations like that. Show us the friggin' receipts. There's no receipts. They should let this shit go. And anybody who's standing behind this, I mean, where's Peter Frederick? Why aren't you going after the Ukrainians? Where our government actually supported and funded through NGOs, neo-Nazis that
Our
took
government.
over part of our government did. And they look more like you, pal. Why don't you go after them? Colonizers. You want to go after them? You want to go over to India? And this is why you get no traction. Why your videos never have 1,000 people or nobody's listening. While you're going around trying to change history and get Gandhi statues removed. Sorry for freaking talking, but that's the main perpetuator on this stuff. And I wish he would just go away and stop stealing our shit. Stop using our clips unless you get permission, and blocking us, pal. There is a level. There is a situation, fam, that we do agree on, me and you, and we probably disagree with Tulsi on that. And I do. I know where she's coming from. This is not a strike, but it is definitely a disagreement. Oh, I'll get on it. Our YouTube super chat, let me get on it. He's laughing because it must be a good one. Miguel Santiago. Valentina Santucci on the couch for a super chat. Hi, Valentina. Aw, Valentina's a little, I think she's like 4. And her sister Lucia is 2. My good friend, the Convo Couch lawyer of sorts, Treasure Santucci.
Valentina
Michael
Santucci. What an Italian name.
Let me tell you something about this little girl. I have a video. We went to the beach. She's going to be a musician. She understands it. Like she's being a baby. She's going crazy. But as soon as you get the guitar in her hand, she calms down and she strums it.
Really?
I have it. I have to go look for the video. It's amazing. I won't show it to anybody. But Valentina Santucci, thank you so much, Val. Thank you,
Grazie,
Lucia.
Valentina.
Let's talk about the area where and thank you, Michael Santucci, for the $9.99 super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for these super chat. We really need them. We really use them. And we got a great schedule coming up. So Send more if you can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should go into it because
Yeah.
7.
Where we need to go.
So Senator Sanders very directly uses the language of class warfare. He says if there's a class war going on, it's about time that the working class won it. He just released a big plan for a wealth tax that's more aggressive even than what Senator Warren had put out. What do you think about a wealth tax?
I'm not opposed to it. I think there are different ideas out there that I'm looking at. I don't think class warfare is something constructive for us. I think we should tackle the root cause of this, which is crony capitalism. Rather than pitting one group of Americans against the others, let's get to the heart of the problem here, which is how massive corporations like Amazon are able to exploit American taxpayers, go without paying any taxes at all, get a tax credit. In addition to that, while we have small business owners all across this country who are paying their fair share, paying their taxes, employing people, serving as the backbone of our economy, and struggling just to survive. So we've got an unfair system that really does benefit the very few rich and powerful, and that's what we've got to focus on correcting.
I have a final question for you, ma'am. On the issue of big tech, you sued Google.
Yes.
They've suppressed.
Okay. So she's right. It is crony capitalism, but that obviously, rich people aren't going to change. And I don't want to say all rich people. I'm talking mainly about the billionaires, the billionaire class, the top 1%. Those people don't care about you. They're not going to change their mind and try to, out of the goodness of their heart, to vote for somebody like Bernie Sanders because it goes against them. It depreciates the money that they make. So to say this isn't class warfare, I think she's wrong on that. This is entirely class warfare, and she's right about the left and the right. Like this election isn't about the left versus right. She's right. I like her because she unites people. She talks about the issues, but at the core of those capitalist mishandlings of the capitalist oligarchy is the class warfare. It's the haves and the have-nots. It's the 99% versus the 1%. This is bottom line where I agree with Bernie Sanders, because as someone that pays attention to a lot of the economic class warfare, like workers unite kind of movement, like to me that is essentially what needs to happen, because these people aren't going to hold themselves accountable. We have to hold them accountable. That this next election is basically capitalism versus democratic socialism versus whatever you want to call it, populism, whatever. It's just the working class and the middle class coming together to take back, to make sure that things are fair. Right now, all of the wealth is going to the top, and it's just not dispersed the right way.
Yeah, I think too that it's, you can even say it's the 99%, but the 1%, I think it's the 4%, because I've seen people who've got in there once again, the mentality. And talking about Biggie and Tupac, a lot of people feel like Tupac was killed because when he started talking about hoarding of wealth, they were like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy. He's got a big platform. Now he's talking about one of the worst sins in the world, which is hoarding of wealth, because then you're hoarding of resources. And it really is something that we have to address, because once people do get that money, you see their attitude change. You see their politics change. They start to blame immigrants. They start to blame people that outside the bubble who really have no control and no power. So yes, it is a mentality we have to fight, which is rooted in class. And I think the fact is that we have to always talk about it, because we want these people who do obtain some money, who do get some stuff, to still be part of society and still hand it forward to the next guy. And I think that is important. So I disagree with the fact that it is a class warfare, because it is class warfare. But I do understand where Tulsi's coming from on this point and stuff, and she's talking about the mechanisms which lead to the class warfare, and I think that is important. The crony capitalism, we have to nip it in the butt, and that's the way your girl Elizabeth Warren is going around and saying, well I'm going to eliminate these mechanisms that lead to the class.
She's saying it's crony capitalism versus Bernie is saying eliminate capitalism. Essentially, like, I mean, he's not saying that completely, because he's a democratic socialist. So there's still going to be a market, right? But like, that's where that mentality is headed. And it's like eliminating that sort of ideology only. Making it more like in Norway and Sweden, where you have a market, but it's more of like the people own a lot of the investments rather than either the government or a very few. It's more diverse. It's more spread out. So it's a little bit different than just fixing capitalism. I don't believe we can fix capitalism. I believe we need to put it in a whole new system. The system is broken. So again, this is where Elizabeth Warren and Bernie differ. Elizabeth Warren thinks you can fix it by putting in more regulations and more laws. I don't believe you can fix it. You cannot fix the system by taking its money. So again, like this is why bottom line on Bernie Sanders, because to me you cannot fix something that has gone too far in this direction. So
hey, Bernie also understands MMT. He understands the creation of money, where it goes, and we have to understand. Hey, Michael Cruz, you want to be a guest and do basic bottom MMT for us? We'd love to have you on, maybe. But if you got somebody to refer, please prefer. We're going to talk about MMT. Me and Johnny have been watching a lot of videos on it. Even Fam was peeking at it with us the other day. And Jorge Santiago says, sigh. Tulsi's a bit of a letdown lately. Another disappointing answer I didn't expect. That answer didn't bother me so much. I don't think it was the best answer, but once again, there are different ways.
She has a way of looking at things as, I don't want to be too divisive. I want us all to come together. This is actually not surprising coming from her. Like she's never called herself a socialist. She's never said she was, but she agrees with a lot of what Bernie says, but she's also aware of how it could be perceived. She doesn't like labels. It's hard to pin her down, like she said many times.
She doesn't fit into those boxes.
She doesn't fit into those boxes. But I think some people agree with her, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I just tend to be a little bit more like, no, this is class warfare. This is it. Bottom line. This is the biggest election of our time because of that. So, yeah.
I know, and I understand her approach and what she's trying to do and who she's talking to.
Sometimes you gotta take a stance. Sometimes you gotta be firm in that.
Like I said, to me, the most disappointing thing is when you talk about not fitting in those boxes. To me, the impeachment thing, which is so.
We know.
I know you guys know, and it still bothers me that she went there and stuff because she wasn't in those boxes, and it seemed like a political move. When it comes to these things, I think she does honestly believe that she's going to reach out to independents, libertarians, and try to get other votes that that Bernie might not get, because he does fit into that Democratic socialism box. Fam, we got to get you out of here, and we'll be coming back in a little bit. I have a little bit of a Yemen story, a small one. I'm not going to go into it deep, but we do have some great breaking news that I'm going to talk about. For right now, I want to say thank you to everybody who left us a super chat today. I like to thank all our Patreons, and I like to thank you all just for joining in. You don't have to give anything. You just got to show up sometimes, and that's really the biggest gift that the Convo Couch, Johnny, Fee, and myself could ask for. And we want to send some love and good thoughts to our main man, Bernie Sanders.
Bernard.
Kick ass in this next debate coming up.
Right.
For Pasta Jardula.
And Fiorella Isabel.
Johnny Sue on the 1s and 2s. Come back with us in a little bit.
BRB with Pasta.